Good evening. We're back with more DC Dual Force. So we've had a balance patch, a new content patch today. I'm going to talk about it briefly. This will probably be a short video because there's not a lot of balance changes, but I'll discuss them. We've got the Twilight of the Guardians comic part 1 available, and a new mini set which I will review in a separate video. New daily login track, and then the balance changes. We have a change to Flashpoint, which now says put each card in your hand into your deck, draw that many cards, so it no longer draws one extra, and is now gold cost, was bronze. Well, this is less of a nerf and more they took the card and smashed it into the ground and then lit it on fire after it was dead. This is just not playable anymore. They may as well have removed it from the game. Hellblaze now says deal 4 damage to each enemy recruit and 2 damage to each enemy leader. Probably wasn't nerfed enough. I would have preferred a straight 1 damage to all, so it says deal 3 damage to each enemy. The problem with Hellblaze is that it clears the board too efficiently. Nerfing the damage that it does to the leaders is probably too light, is my feeling. But we'll see where it lands. We'll try it and we'll see where it lands, and we'll see where it lands in the meta. They didn't want to totally destroy it the way they did Flashpoint. Okay. I think it's still a really good card. John Stewart is now a 4/5, was a 5/4. That wasn't really one of the changes I thought needed to be made. Okay. Brainiac is now a 6/7, was a 5/5. That's a big buff to Tyranny. Tyranny being a set that did not need a buff. It was already near the top of the meta, so that one's a puzzle. If Energy was nerfed enough, Tyranny will take its place as the dominant force in the game. And that's all the balance changes. So the lightning bolts from Shazam weren't hit. I thought they might be hit. Ivy's Flytrap wasn't hit. I thought that absolutely needed to be hit. I thought it needed to go from 6 HP to 4 HP. Lightning Arc wasn't hit. I thought that would have been reasonable to have that go to 4 damage, +1 to adjacents. The Flash Friends in High Places combo wasn't nerfed. I thought it would have been reasonable to nerf that. Either nerf Friends in High Places to a 2/2 buff or a 1/1 buff, or nerf the Flash Recruit to a 2/2, but it wasn't touched at all. So the Flash power in All of Us plus Lightning Bolts is still going to be an extremely frustrating combo to face. The Lightning Bolt chains are still going to be there. They're still going to be extremely frustrating. I'm disappointed in these balance changes. I don't think they address the problem. The problem being non-interactive plays. Now, Flashpoint was a non-interactive play that was hit, and that's good. I don't know that it needed to be hit that much. They could have easily made it not draw a card and nerfed it to silver, or I was even thinking that if they just nerfed it to not drawing an extra card, that might be enough. If in combination with nerfing Ivy's Flytrap and potentially hitting the lightning bolts, but they left the lightning bolt chains. I'm really sad about that. Those are frustrating to face. I think Energy is still near the top of the meta. This change really doesn't hit the Shazam Batman decks at all. These balance changes. I think if that deck was the top before, it's still that case now. This really doesn't hit Flash Doomsday that much, if at all. I think we're still going to see lots and lots of Flash Doomsday. Really didn't hit Shazam and Poison Ivy. Well, I guess Shazam Poison Ivy is the biggest loser because of the Flashpoint nerf. I don't know that that deck is that good without Flashpoint. So we'll probably see most of those players move over to Shazam Batman, with some moving to like Shazam and Lex Luthor so they can still play the power in All of Us. And with Brainiac being buffed, you'll see them moving to Shazam Lex Luthor with Brainiac included in the deck. because that's a pretty big buff to Brainiac. Did the meta get less toxic? No. No, it's still going to be the worst meta that we've had so far in the game. Because what needed to happen in order for the meta to get better is that the meta needed to get more interactive. So the cards that were basically have no counterplay needed to be hit. So Ivy's Flytrap has no counterplay because if you play it on turn 1 at 6 HP, there's no card in the game that can deal with it except Two-Face, and that's only a 50-50 chance. You don't want to have cards in the game that have no counterplay. Like, the next best card is probably on turn 1 is probably the Riddler, but he does have counterplay because Energy Blast can kill him. Or a Steve Trevor can charge Batman and you can grab a Batarang and that can kill him. Or a Man-Bat can kill him. But there's nothing turn 1 that kills Ivy's Flytrap, and there needs to be. Ivy's Flytrap needs to be killable on turn 1 if you have the right combo. Because otherwise it just feels like they play that card and then you lose. Or you play that card and then they lose. And that's not a good spot to be in. And the lightning bolt chains are not interactive because there's nothing that the opponent can do to prevent you from drawing or playing the lightning bolts except hope for the best. And that's a frustrating situation to be in, knowing that at any time they could suddenly draw a lightning bolt chain and you lose and there's nothing you can do about it. There's games that have a lot of luck in them and they're designed that way. This game is only like that sporadically and it feels out of place when it happens. And it doesn't feel good to play against. There's no way around that. And so I thought that needed to happen in order to have a better meta. I didn't mind the Batman Wonder Woman meta in hindsight when everyone was playing Batman Wonder Woman because that meta had counterplay. You could play Green Arrow, and Green Arrow was very good against that deck. This one doesn't. There's nothing you can do about the lightning bolt chains, and that feels bad. And that was not addressed at all. So we're still going to see tons of Flash Doomsday. We're still going to see tons of Shazam. Most likely we'll just see more Shazam Batman or more Shazam Lex Luthor. And that's going to be the effect on the meta. So there'll be another video coming soon in which we take a look at the new mini set. And thank you for watching.